So what is the link between the infrastructure as code Terraform and the developers? Did they have
And the
anything
developer.
common? Yes, sir.
Okay, so this part now, can you see here? This infrastructure here was deployed with infrastructure as code. Did you see that? You know, this is our infrastructure. This is
Yes.
our server.
Yeah.
This is our security. This is our cloud.
Okay.
Everything here was made possible, was automated using infrastructure as code. Now, developers are using, they are programmers, what we used to call programmers. So they learned programming languages like C++, C, Java, Python. What other programming language have you heard? Java is very popular.
JavaScript.
Yeah. Okay, JavaScript, although it's more popular for PHP.
Okay.
So these are the really back end. So the developers are using these kinds of programming languages to write these codes. Whereas the infrastructure as code, the cloud architect is not necessarily using all of this, even though he could. Instead, he's using tools like Terraform and others. Terraform. So do you get it? So when people come to ask me, is there coding in DevOps? When we say coding, actually, when we say coding, this is what comes to mind. All these programming languages, otherwise called SDKs, software development key. And most of the time I will say, no, there is no coding because we are not using any of this. It is when you use this that we say we are coding, we are coders. But what we are using here for what we call coding here is just a tool that, you can learn this even in 2 hours. You can learn this too. So to differentiate between this coding and this coding, we generally call this kind of coding scripting, and then we call this one coding or software. So developers are the real programmers, whereas these guys are just using tools to automate. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So from what you just said now, that's in describing, I know you're still describing the modules in the program.
Yes.
But from what you've just shown now, that means we are taking two things. That's if we complete the program, we are taking two things from it. We are training to gain a wide range of skills, more like to be a cloud architect and as well as a DevOps engineer.
That's
Am
right.
I okay? So okay, I
That's
just wanted
right.
to.
And then this is the everything here is useful. I don't even know what to take off now. So the pyramid of supply and demand is like that. All right. So DevOps are right there, somewhere around there. If you're a DevOps engineer, you are highly sought after and the pay is good. But if you're a cloud solutions architect, you are somewhere there. If you're a Linux person, you are somewhere around here. All right. So there are more supply and less opportunities as just a Linux person. As AWS person without automation, this is where you are. As somebody who knows automation, you can now begin to see, yes, I'm an IT. But as DevOps, they will not let you rest. All the companies will be pulling you left and right. Come and work for us. Come on, because you are in high demand, right? We are not leaving you at this point. We are taking you all the way. And then somebody will finish Linux and come and ask me, oh, we finished Linux. Would I get a job? How can you get a job? We just, no, IT is not that cheap. Well, it's not to say that it's completely impossible, but the likelihood is very, very slim. Because even though the job description, the work out there will say they are looking, you can note this and you are going to experience. The job title is going to say we are looking for cloud architect. But by the time you read the job description, you are going to see that they are requiring the knowledge you have here, the knowledge you have here, the knowledge you have here. And then you are wondering, why then did you call it cloud architect? Why did you not just call it DevOps engineer? So the title does not really matter. It is the JD that gives you a detailed overview of the expectation. And that is why, let's just stop there so that we don't load you. But by the time you now know DevOps, even with all of these tools covered in the modules, it's still possible. It's it's not just possible. It's frequent to see that they say they are looking for DevOps engineer and then they require that you know maybe one or two of this. If you know one or two of this, what are you?
Developers.
So these days, they're even looking for people who can do cloud architecting, can do DevOps, and they can do develop. One person. It's not so common. If you find people like that will just stay with Google for 6 months and Amazon will come and pull them because it takes 7 years to get to that level, all right? But at least let us get you to this level and then leave the job of developers to develop. However, after 3, 4, 5 years because as a DevOps person, you are between developers and operations. After 3, 4, 5 years of constantly working with these people, it is likely that you would have gotten used to at least one of the tools that they use. And it is likely that this tool that is always confusing me, let me even take 3 weeks off, go and learn it and come back. Then you might just go and be an expert in maybe is in addition to what you already know that I'll be giving you 120 or 150K every month. Then you can now know this.
So,
Then at that
sir,
level, you can now say, instead of doing 2 jobs of 150, or maybe 1 job of 100, another job of 150 or and 250, which is very common with IT people. You can now say, I want just 1 job with 1 fund that will just give me 350. Then you can focus on that. Yes, you are going to ask a question, right?
yes, sir. So, sir, so what are the major challenges of DevOps?
And we'll get there. I will not start the course. When we start, anywhere but with once the training is thorough and good and deep,
Okay.
training itself would have taken care of the challenge. So challenges just means that something that is troublesome, that you have difficulty with, you have not found a way around it. But once the training is good and it gives you a shortcut or alternative around it, once others are seeing it as a challenge for you, it's not a challenge. But in any case, you would identify them yourself, because all of this talk is practical. So by the time I say go and set up this tool, and you try it first and second time, we did it in class once, everything went smoothly, there was no problem. Well, you have to do it by yourself and thought I was struggling with it, then you will know by yourself that this is challenging for you. You will know. All right. So that is the overview of the course.
Sorry, sir.
Then,
I know you are still talking about you after the that's the 3rd module.
Okay.
The 4th one is DevOps. I know you just came into it and you are still elaborating on it. I know you've elaborated, but is there any other thing aside? Maybe
no, it's only DevOps. So the
Okay.
DevOps were 2 parts. We call the first one DevOps tools, and we call the second one DevOps projects. It's just for the purpose of splitting them into 2 months. Otherwise, DevOps is DevOps.
Okay. So what does the project entail?
The project entails come into a class with nothing provided at all and set up this whole, no, the only thing that is provided is these codes from the developer. Set up this whole process from here all the way to here.
I didn't understand that.
That's the project.
Many projects? Yes, I got that. How many projects are we going to be working on?
It's not about how many, it's about understanding the process, the format, the principle.
Okay.
Yes. Once you get it right for one principle, it's boring repeating that same principle for everything. It's the same thing. If I say step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, and you do it for one project and you understand it, it's just a matter of changing the title of the project or changing the name of the company. It's the same thing. So DevOps is a way of doing things. It's a concept. So once you get the concept and you follow those principles, it's not about the matter of project. But in any case, we are going to learn these tools individually and practice it. Learn this tool, use it to do something that you see. Learn this tool. So at the end of the day, having just one long session where there was no server and there was nothing at all, and you set up everything from scratch by yourself, nothing can be deeper than that. Nothing can be deeper. The only thing that is provided for you is the code, because you are not a programmer. All right. You set up your working server, you deploy all of these tools in the server, you set up your operations, you deploy your Docker and your Kubernetes there. Man, it's a lot of work, and being able to do all of that by yourself, you don't need 3, 7, 8 projects, and confidently repeat that same process anyway.
Okay.
Whether it's for a pharmaceutical company or for a Silicon Valley company, it's the same process. It doesn't matter what the product. So at interview levels, this is what they expect you to know. For them to say, okay, when the recruiter calls you and say, we saw your resume, we're interested, what and what do you know? The questions that is going to ask you to shortlist you for the interview proper. Everything will be covered here. Your understanding of this concept and the overview. Anyway, we've not started, but this is very, very high level. You'll be expected to go just a little lower. Then the interview proper will now be testing. Okay, when you were here, what did you do? You will now be testing the detail of what you accomplished. What tool did you use here? Kubernetes. Oh, you use Kubernetes, fine. How did you deploy? How would you deploy up to 15 pods using only 2 servers? How do you mesh 2 servers together to become a cluster? Questions, all right? But this is only the first day, and I'm really giving you too much already for one day, so that your brain does not. So that's the overview.